everybody. That's a wrap on the last battlefield. I'm Colleen Taylor.
I'm Jordan Crook.
I'm Matt Burns.
And we're backstage at TechCrunch's Disrupt, San Francisco 2012, a wrap on day one. Five companies just presented their apps. Let's dive right into it and talk about it. I'm also going to be watching for the tweets, TC Disrupt, hashtag TC Disrupt, so I'll be reading those if you guys have any thoughts about the companies we just saw. Well, first of all, overall feelings about this batch, this last round?
I feel good about it. What was the category called again?
Disrupting collaboration.
Collaboration, yeah, I thought it was really interesting. A lot of them were consumer facing, so I always enjoy seeing the consumer facing stuff as opposed to enterprise big data.
Yeah.
And I think all five of them actually had pretty standout products. I think they could be contenders going into the finals.
They all had very good designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Their
UIs.
user interface was top notch all the way through, even for a company that does something for feature phones.
Yep.
I agree. Let's start with the first one, LiveStar, the mobile app for recommendations. It's
Recommendations and ratings. So they're kind of competing with Yelp, but they do more than just food. They do music, and I think they're getting into apps. It's interesting. They have like kind of a social element built in where you can poll your friends and hopefully in real time get an answer back. And they also have different filters too, so you can look across average ratings from users, but you can also look at critics' picks and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely a more complex and rich app than Yelp would be or a competitor would be. It's just about distribution, and I think that's what we came back to in the whole batch, was how are these companies going to distribute these apps? I think it was Tim Draper, was pretty hard on his first question of it. It's like, why are you doing this? Who's using this? Is there really a need for this? He even polled the audience. He said, so would any of you guys use this? And according to his tabulation, instantaneously, it was a third of the audience. But like I said, with the social polling, that's actually a nice little trick. So if I send it out and you get a little link or an SMS message or whatever it might be saying like, I need your help, I need to find a restaurant, then that's at least going to get a few new users every time someone does that.
Yeah,
so.
And the a big thing here is they've already raised $2 million. It's founded by Fritz Landman, who's a former Microsoft executive. So it seems like, there are a lot of people who believe in it. There's Jacob Mullins, at Jacob on Twitter, said he really likes the idea of LiveStar. This is something that I do currently, albeit with 5 different apps to solve the problem. So
true story.
Yeah. So let's move to the second one.
It was Dispatch. Yeah. The really neat thing about Dispatch is that it was founded in the hackathon in New York City in 2011. So after the hackathon, they went to TechStars, I believe. Probably TechStars being there in New York, and now they're here and they're launching with us.
So what is Dispatch?
It's the same thing that they had at the hackathon. So it's a collaborative tool to integrate Google Docs and Dropbox and Google Contacts and all that into one service.
Evernote. It's kind of like Yammer, except for all of the file sharing is already built in. So it's kind of, the idea is almost to disrupt email, and I don't think Dispatch would say that to you, but when it comes to, here's this updated Google Doc, and then here's this image that you might need, and I put it in the Dropbox and check my Evernote, it all kind of comes back together into one place, into one post, project by project, which...
They're targeting small business with the freedom model, but at the same time, I think, really students could use it, for one. It could be really big in the education, and really personal uses, it could be huge.
And fun fact is dispatch.io is their URL.
Dispatch.com is probably something different.
I'm sure that it's probably something definitely different. Chris Tucker Stewart said, anytime I read Dispatch.io, I think of pistachio. Weird. Now I'm going to think of pistachio every time I read Dispatch.io as well. Thank you, Chris Tucker Stewart.
They're going to have to change their logo now.
They might now have to.
Another hat tip to Dispatch is that we were with them in rehearsals, and they really came a long way in their pitch. That's not to say that they were bad or anything, but they really made a lot of progress and knew exactly what they needed to pitch, what features they needed to cover, and how to kind of engage an audience with something that is somewhat enterprise-facing.
Are they one of our youngest teams?
I think so. I mean, that guy is 21, I believe.
21.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. It's good to see. So next one that presented was Undrip.
Undrip.
And so the drip analogy there is that our social networks are like a leaky faucet, a constant leakage of great content. Things leak out, we miss it. So they want to plug it.
Or that there's too much. I mean, I think the idea is that you go on Facebook or Twitter or any other one of your social networks, Instagram, whatever, and there's all these status updates. Like, I don't need to know that Matt just took an excellent poop. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that at all. Whereas, I mean, they take out all status updates. They take out any Farmville notifications.
It really is something you should filter. I mean, I do have a separate Twitter account for all that nonsense.
Okay. So yeah, I think, and the thing about Undrip that really wins, in my opinion, is that one, they have a beautiful interface, and two, they let you do everything that you would do on those social networks from within the app. So if you want to like, if you want to comment, if you want to reshare, if you want to retweet, whatever you might want to do, if you want to like it on Instagram, it's all available to you within the app. So you never have to jump around between apps. If you really want to enjoy just a nice reading experience through your friends' social content, you can go to Undrip and enjoy yourself and still have that interactivity, which is nice.
Right, right. J. Max Wilson was excited about it. He's asking 5 minutes ago on Twitter, he said, does anybody have an Undrip invite? I would like to try it out. So if anybody does, do you?
Yeah, I'll send them
Holler
Tell them
at
to tweet at me. It's at Jordan R. Crook. I'll send you an invite.
Okay, J. Max Wilson. And also, so other things on the TC Disrupt. Shaladitya M. Half slept, half watched TC Disrupt live feed while it rained massively all night in Mumbai.
Wow.
So thank you for watching on that rainy night
That's really
in Mumbai.
sweet.
That's
I like
cool.
to imagine that because it's hot in here.
It is hot in here. It's still a little hot in here.
It is extremely hot
It's so
in here.
hot.
I came here all dressed nice, and now look at me, I'm a mess.
Yeah, maybe Mumbai could send us some of their rain sometime. Maybe there's an app for that. So that's so. Speaking of drip, that's a good segue away from Undrip. Saya was the next one. Saya is how you say it? Not Saya.
Yeah,
Saya.
they traveled a little ways to get here.
They
came
did
from Ghana.
Ghana, and Mike Butcher tracked him down and found him. Right, like he discovered them when he was in Africa.
Mike's so good at that stuff.
Yeah, and that was, I have to say, in my opinion, it was one of the better presentations in terms of just the comfort of the founder. He was very good at, he just obviously felt really comfortable on stage.
It was really cute.
It's nervous. People get nervous, but he was a natural, really.
He started, he was about 2 sentences in, and our staff photographer was down facing him from the bottom, taking pictures. And he paused his presentation and paused for the
awesome.
And, yeah.
But he's like, Jessica Alba paused when she was walking off stage for a photo too. So
but chances are that Jessica Alba is more ready to pose for pictures and more used to that than this guy.
It's true. Like I said, a natural. There we go.
He's a pro for
sure.
But
so what was Saya? Saya, rich mobile messaging.
Takes SMS on feature phones, so not a smartphone, and beautifies it, makes it a little bit more easy to digest.
Oh, here we have it on the screen.
So you can actually see it on the screen right there. That's a regular feature phone, not necessarily a smartphone, but it takes your text messages that would normally be pretty nasty looking and turns it into something that looks more like an app.
It's a very robust mobile platform for all the different types of phones, which also includes feature phones. Generally, these things are limited to just smartphones. But with this, there are more feature phones in the world than there are smartphones by a large margin.
Really? You would never know that being in San Francisco. People make fun of me for not having an iPhone.
Well, there is a world outside of the Bay Area.
There is. There's a huge
Believe it or not. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah,
so these people have been around for a few months, and it really exploded in growth. It has a very unique invitation system.
Right.
And so it can explode organically.
And did you notice? Oh, go on. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying they're prepared actually for kind of the transition of smartphones because it's robust enough to work on smartphones as well as feature phones. And it has, even if you're on a feature phone, you have most of the same features that you would on a smartphone, like group chat and stuff like that, which you don't necessarily have most of the time if you're on a little, Samsung Omnia or whatever.
Right, right. So Terry Hubert said, Saya is a great viral story with a 2,000 seed to 9 million. Way cool. This is what I was expecting from the TechCrunch event. So that's cool. I mean, this is like a classic Disrupt candidate. So that's great. Let's go into the audience choice, the wild card that presented NetPlenish.
So that's price shopping.
So it's a mobile shopping app, but it's for things, a lot of shopping apps are really about, clothes, like higher ticket, items, but this is for the kind of like toothpaste, toilet paper stuff you buy every single day.
They're really secret sauces. They combine all the price comparison with subscription based. So it automatically replenishes over time. So like my house, we go through a lot of toilet paper because there's 4 people in our house.
And there's you.
With that said, this will automatically, unlike Amazon where you only have the one price from Amazon, this compares everything and then automatically replenishes it on a certain schedule.
That's cool. So you don't really have to constantly be reminded to get the kind of dailies that you're always going to get no matter what anyway.
Right, staples they would say.
My problem is that I get my staples like at physical store. I guess I'm just old-fashioned. I'm not one of these people who gets my toilet paper on Amazon.
My problem is I do that. I do get them from Amazon, like soap and laundry detergent, but I use Prime. And so then I get 2-day shipping, and it'll be hard to change that behavior. If the person's comfortable ordering staples online, I think they're probably already at an Amazon type thing.
Yeah.
They already found a service they like.
But that said, audience choice, and they've already gotten some, press and different things, and so NetPlenish, definitely don't count it out. Or maybe it could be an Amazon acquisition, and it might have some very interesting technology.
Right, Amazon does do that. They did that with diapers, diapers.com.
Yep.
So.
Could be the next $500 million acquisition. Well, I'm already seeing tweets that some people are over, Jen Friel is over at Happy Hour at Tapterra, so I think we should get going and go to the Happy Hour. Tomorrow is a big day. Mark Zuckerberg is going to be here on stage in the afternoon.
For the first time since the IPO.
First time since the IPO. We're going to be talking to, or we're not going to be talking to him actually, Stephen Levy. No, Arrington is not talking to him.
Ooh, TechCrunch is filled with lies.
I mean, there's more than that too.
And it's not just Zuck.
Right. Kevin Rose is coming. He'll be on stage tomorrow. We have a whole another round of Battlefield contestants. It's a big day.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom, perhaps, going to be backstage with us. Gavin Newsom, the former mayor of San Francisco. You guys are you're New York or you're Michigan, but he was a big deal around here, around these parts. So it'd be good to see him backstage. We got the politicians, we got entertainment, we got tech, we got everything, and we have
except for air conditioning.
Except for air conditioning, but that is supposed to be fixed tomorrow. So if for any reason you are actually at Disrupt and watching the live stream, first get a drink, and 2. Be relieved, the air will be back on tomorrow. Air will be back on tomorrow, and we will be back on air tomorrow. You'll see what I did there at 8:45 a.m. Pacific time. So check back in right here, TechCrunch Disrupt. See you tomorrow.